Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to prune a grapevine, also known as a para or vid, in the Espalier style, also called the cordon method. If you're enjoying this kind of content, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more tutorials like this. For this pruning method, it's important to follow a few essential tips, especially regarding how and where to make the cuts. I'll walk you through that step by step. Alright, let's get started. Here we have two branches, this one here, and another one next to it. We're going to remove this one completely, so it doesn't steal energy from the one we want to keep. We'll also remove the older part and leave the new shoot, which will continue growing. As usual, we leave a small thumb segment. This is just a short piece of stem. From that thumb, a new shoot will grow. And on that new shoot, we always leave two buds, so that the vine can sprout again next season. Just a quick reminder, if you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next videos. As you can see, the older parts start to dry out, so we remove them. We always cut the new shoot just after the second bud to ensure strong growth. I'll show you the correct cutting technique in more detail in just a moment. Even while editing this video, I realized that some of the cuts we made weren't perfect, and I had to fix them later. Sometimes you move too fast while cutting, and you don't realize the cut is too close to the bud. That's something we want to avoid to keep the plant healthy. Stick around because I'll explain all of this with close-ups and examples a bit further in the video. And that right there is the final shoot we're going to leave. Everything else around it, we're cutting it back. We'll allow just one branch to grow upward from that thumb node. This branch here, we're removing it entirely. While the camera focuses, go ahead and give this video a like if you're enjoying it. It really helps spread the content to more garden lovers. Now, let me show you the plant a bit more closely. There's something else I want to share. All these trimmings from pruning, you can reuse them to create new cuttings and grow more grapevines. If you're curious about how to do that, I've linked a video right here above. Check it out after this one ends. Now, back to pruning. As you can see, the way we make the cut is important. You want the sap to run away from the buds, not toward them. That's why the cut is made sloping away from the side with the buds. You don't want the sap to drip down onto the bud. It can damage it and prevent it from sprouting properly. We'll show you an example of that now. Here you can see the thumbs, that is, the little branch bases. We've left them quite high. Ideally, you want to start low on the vine for better long-term structure. But in this case, it's not a big issue. You'll see later on how vigorous this plant is. It can still thrive. Let me show you another vine. We're doing the same pruning technique here. You'll notice again that the thumbs are pretty high. But don't worry. We'll still eliminate everything unnecessary. Remember, always leave a thumb with two buds, and prune everything else back for next year's growth. For example, right here, we cut all the way down to the base, removing this year's old shoot. Same goes for this one, it gets cut off entirely. And we're left with a single new segment that has exactly two buds ready for next season. That cut needs to be different, because I realized later in the video that the sap could fall right onto the bud and ruin everything. We filmed it well, but now let's raise the camera a little so you can see better. As you can see, this bud is very weak. We'll see if anything grows next year. And this one is very low, so we're not going to train it to the opposite side. Ideally, we should take the shoot from as low on the spur as possible. But as you can see, the one next to it has much more vigor, so we'll go with that one instead. Right now, we're letting the more vigorous branches guide us. Like this one here, it's already dried out. We're going to remove it completely, but only from the shoot itself, not from the main vine. That's important, because cutting too deep into the vine can cause internal rot, known as necrosis. Let's keep going. We'll end up removing this one entirely too, because it doesn't lead anywhere. It's too close to the other and it's pointing downward, which we don't want. You can see the tension between these two branches. Let's zoom in on the cut so you can see it better. It's made at a 45-degree angle, sloping away from the closest bud. That's the ideal cut. This way, when the sap starts to flow, it won't fall onto the bud and damage it. Now, here we've got a bit of a mess. So we're going to remove everything from one side. As you can see, this branch already had 2 strong shoots. We'll remove one and keep the one growing upward. Here we're going to keep the branch that grows straight upward. This one can be completely removed. As you can see, we already have one growing upwards, so we'll keep the spurs pointing upward and remove the ones pointing downward. This one is old growth from last year. Let me remind you of something important. Whenever you cut an old branch, you should leave a small stub first, and then cut it clean later, to avoid it rotting deep into the vine. That's really important. I know I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Now let's clean this up a bit. See that one? I almost made the wrong cut there. I realized just in time. Sometimes when you're rushing, it's easy to make a mistake. We'll probably keep this one, and the other one next to it we might remove. Let's take this one off. We'll keep this one here because the next bud is growing too low, too close to the base. This one gets removed entirely. Branches that grow downward, we try to remove them. Always try to keep the ones that grow upward. We could have kept that one just in case the other one didn't grow properly, but no worries, we removed it. Now we're left with a bit of a gap. As you can see, the plant is starting to lose some of its vigor here. We might need to start considering whether to stop training it further. It looks like the new growth is getting weaker, so maybe it's time to let the vine stop here. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit that like button. It really helps us keep making these tutorials. Let's see how this section of the vine reacts this year. At the start of the season, the plant strength will tell you a lot. Sometimes you'll want to prune a little earlier the following year, depending on what you observe now. It all depends on how your vine grows. Watch it, learn from it, and decide whether to prune more or less accordingly. Finally, let me show you a vine we've trained into a triple cordon. Well, it's not technically a triple cordon, but more like a vertical trellis or pergola. If you've seen our previous shorts, you'll remember this one. It had incredible growth last year. It produced an amazing amount of grapes. And right next to it, we have a clementine tree we recently transplanted. I'll upload that video soon, so stay tuned for it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next videos.